Now that we've officially started the new year, I want to continue my annual trend of calculating exactly how much money I made from credit cards over the past 12 months. And as y'all know, 2024 brought about some massive changes to my credit card setup, from the addition of 6 new credit cards to my arsenal, the cancellation of one of my cards, which was one of the most popular cards on the market, as well as just restructuring my overall strategy. But there is one thing that remained consistent. I utilized credit card points and miles from all 16 of my cards that earn in 8 different point ecosystems to cover all of my hotel and airline bookings for all of the past year, which there were more than 10 of. There are a couple of big notes that I want to cover before we get into the actual spreadsheet portion of this video, and I really want all of y'all to hear this, so that's why I'm going to front load it and talk about it now. First, I want to say that in making this video, I am by no means trying to brag or boast about the points that I've earned. All I'm trying to do is be as transparent as possible with y'all, so you can see exactly how I fuel the travel habits that I have. And by as transparent as possible, I mean that I'll be showing you not only how many points that I've earned from welcome offers and spend on the cards outside of those offers, but also from referrals, which is obviously a massive way that I earn points, being that I have this credit card YouTube channel. I don't hide from the fact that I'm a very privileged person in this regard, but I just hope that y'all realize how grateful I am to each and every one of you for using my links whenever you sign up for cards to support my work at no additional cost to you. Y'all are a massive part of what makes all of this travel possible for me, not only because of the referral points that I earn, but also because you allowed me to quit my civil engineering job and work on this business full time, which I'll never be able to thank you enough for. Also, I hope that y'all know at this point that while the referral points that I earn are impossible to ignore, they do not sway my review of credit cards or my decision making in going for the cards that I do. If that was the case, do you really think I would have canceled the Amex Gold card of all cards? So please just understand that I'm sharing all of this from a perspective of honesty and transparency rather than anything else. And the second note that I want to make is that I'm a person with very low spend compared to most, since I'm really only responsible for myself, of course, Odin, who's laying down back there, and to a certain degree, my girlfriend, at least when it comes to paying for dates and stuff like that. But that has not stopped me from earning enough points to travel really as much as I want to, and you can do exactly that as well. No, I don't mean through referrals either, although that is an option for some, including the Diamond members of the credit community Discord, but instead, I'm talking about through welcome offers. When I started on my credit card journey, I was just a college kid working side gigs to help pay for my tuition, and I never had enough money to travel in the ways that I wanted to. But with the personal finance knowledge that I had, I knew there was one method that I could implement to start taking trips while I was in college without changing my spending or earning habits. Of course, that way is credit cards, specifically credit card welcome offers. Instead of using a debit card to pay for everything and not earning any rewards at all, I could just instead apply for a new credit card every few months for its welcome offer and basically infinitely have enough points to travel in the ways that I wanted to. So hopefully in you watching this video, not only will you find some entertainment in it, but you'll also take away the inspiration that you can do exactly what I do. That is under the assumption that you are responsible with your finances, always pay your cards on time and in full every month and all of that. But of course, if you're watching my videos, you know that's the basis of everything. Okay, now I feel like we got the important things covered and we can dive into the spreadsheet. To keep things streamlined here, instead of just going directly down this left column and working through each card by application date, I want to separate everything out by points ecosystem instead. That way we don't get bored just working through one section of the spreadsheet at a time, but by doing it this way, we'll get a full picture of each one of the ecosystems I earn in and start filling out this, puzzle piece of a worksheet here. As you can see here, before filming, I went ahead and filled out some of the welcome offer cells. That's because most of the cards that I've applied for now, I completed the welcome offers for in previous years. And specific to the Southwest Performance business, I'll be completing that offer in 2025, according to my Southwest Companion Pass strategy. So that's why it's already revealed as well. And with that being said, we can go ahead and kick it off with the first card in my setup to start working through my Chase Ultimate Reward point earning cards, the OG Chase Freedom. This card being my oldest card is one that I mainly just try to keep open. I don't use it that often unless there's a good 5% rotating category that I can take advantage of. Like for example, in Q4 of 2024, I was using this for my PayPal purchases to cover all of my Christmas presents I bought for people. And with it really only being used in that quarter, I earned a total of 8,458 points on the card for spending. But this was the first year that I realized I actually could get referrals for the OG Chase Freedom, even though it's not a card that you can apply for. Everybody just has a general Chase Freedom landing page for their referrals, meaning you can either apply for the Chase Freedom Flex or Unlimited, as well as a couple other cards, I believe. But no matter what card somebody applies for, you get credited for that through your card account. And with that being the case, I was fortunate enough to be able to max out my referrals on this card, giving me a total of 50,000 points there. I want to reiterate here that these referral bonus numbers are going to be pretty insane, and that is a massive blessing, and I'm super grateful to y'all for allowing that to be the case. But at the end of the video, I'll go ahead and take away all of those points too, so you can get a more realistic comparison of the total value I've gotten from credit cards this year on my own merit compared to yourself. Of course, adding those two numbers together, I come to a total points earned on the card of 58,548 points. And we'll go ahead and just move to the right side of the spreadsheet too to calculate my total cashback value, travel portal value, and transfer partner value. And since I'm breaking up this video like I am, it'll make it really easy here because the next few cards we'll cover will all be Chase cards. They'll have the same valuations for each redemption method. And what those are going to be, of course, 1 cent per point in cashback form for my Chase Ultimate Rewards points. For travel portal value, I'll give a 1.5 times multiplier to that cashback value because I get a 50% boost through the travel portal with my Chase Sapphire Reserve. And then as for transfer partner value, since I have the Chase Sapphire Reserve once again, I have the ability to transfer my points out to Chase's transfer partners. Of course, you can do that with the Chase Inc. Preferred or Chase Sapphire Preferred as well. I just have the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And I'm going to take an average valuation of 2 cents per point for my transfer partner value, even though you can get much more than that with international bookings, specifically first class or business class flights, or much less value than that if you use the wrong partners. I just know that 2 cents per point is going to be, on average, what my Chase points are actually valued at based on my redemption habits, which I've covered in past videos. So with that spiel out of the way for Chase, the cashback value that I got from my OG Chase Freedom this year, including every point earned, is $585. Travel portal value will be $878, and transfer partner value is $1,171. So, of course, that's not too bad for a card that I really just keep active. Of course, heavily carried by the referral bonuses, but again, at the end of the video, I'll be getting rid of those so we get a more accurate representation. Moving next to the Chase Freedom Unlimited card. This one took a backseat to my Venture X for basically all of this year. And the Venture X is the card that I carry in my daily wallet for my catch-all purposes, but the Chase Freedom Unlimited still gets used for mainly online purchases. More specifically, Odin's dog food is about it, to be honest. So with that spin that I have put on it, I've accumulated 4,592 points on the card, which is obviously not much. Referral bonuses, once again, was able to max out at 50,000 points, so that's great, bringing me to a total of 54,592 points with a cashback value of $546, a travel portal value of $819, and a transfer partner value of $1,092. One of the common questions I get asked is how do I decide which catch-all credit card to use between the Chase Freedom Unlimited and the Capital One Venture X? And one of the main considerations for me in that decision is whether or not I'm running low on Chase Ultimate Rewards points compared to Venture Miles. And the way I balance all of that out and know when to start using the Chase Freedom Unlimited more is all thanks to Max Rewards. Max Rewards is an all-in-one credit card management app that allows you to track things like your total point balances, card balances, bill due dates, and more, even if your cards come from a multitude of lenders all in one convenient interface. So that means no more swapping between different lenders' apps to try to, add up all of your point balances or anything like that. You can do it all in a one-stop shop through Max Rewards. And for this specific situation, I can go into the app and see my total point balances with Capital One, as well as Chase and all the other lenders I have cards from. But when I notice my Chase points are dropping pretty drastically and my Capital One miles aren't really being used, that's when I swap the Chase Freedom Unlimited back into my setup a little bit more. And with the ability to change the valuation of each points currency I earn in the app, I have a really good understanding of how much value I'm sitting on in my points arsenal. And that's what helps me plan the trips that I take. And while the free features of Max Rewards are great, you can also get Max Rewards Gold, which is their paid feature, and that allows you to automatically activate all of your quarterly rotating categories on your cards like your Chase Freedom Flex, as well as automatically activate all of your credit card offers for you, which has saved me more than $100 this year alone. If you want to check out any of their features, please be sure to download the app through the link in my description, and during the sign-up process, you can enter the promo code Spencer to give you a 1-month discount off of your annual Max Rewards Gold subscription if you ever do decide to upgrade. Plus, that lets them know that I sent you, so it further supports the channel, and I really appreciate that. As always, thank you to Max Rewards for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into the content. Now, the Chase Sapphire Reserve was my most used credit card in 2024, and I've talked about that plenty on this channel. If you want to learn more about my overall takes on the card and why I like it over the Chase Sapphire Preferred, you can watch my 1-year review of the card in the top right or in the video description. But to knock out the referral bonuses first this time, I earned 80,000 points for that. I think the max is only 75,000, but for some reason they have 80,000 in there for me, so that's just what I went with. And then the value for spending is the more exciting one, since that's what is more relatable to y'all. And it being my most used card again means that I earned a total of 38,954 points for all of my spending. You can see how much bigger that is from the past two cards. That's because this card gets pulled out quite a bit. Summing those numbers together, we have 118,954 points earned on my Chase Sapphire Reserve in 2024. And those points have a cashback value of $1,190, a travel portal value at 1.5 cents per point of $1,784. And of course, y'all know with my Chase Sapphire Reserve, or all of my Chase Ultimate Rewards points, That's really the method that I utilize the most right now, aside from Hyatt bookings or international flights. But for the most part, I try to use my Bilt points for Hyatt and my Amex points or Capital One miles or Citi ThankYou points for those international trips. Aside from that, the transfer partner value at 2 cents per point is $2,379. So that is very high, probably going to be one of the highest out of all of these. Then again, though, these next couple of cards may shock you as to how much value I earned, and that is really all because of referral points. So let's go ahead and knock those out. Coming down to the Chase Inc. Cash, since that's my next Chase UR point earning card, I earned 160,000 points from referrals on this card. This was all back before they nerfed the referral program on the Inc. cards. You used to be able to earn 40,000 points per referral. So maxing out at 200,000 points per year, that means you only need 5 referrals on each Chase Inc. card to max them out. They now dropped that down to 20,000 points per card. Hence why you'll normally see my affiliate links in the description now, because those do pay me a bit higher and I need that money to actually fund my life because this is my full-time job. But yeah, there's a little, inside baseball for you. As for spending on the Chase Inc. Cash though, y'all know that this card really gets no use at all from me. Like, it's probably one that I should figure out what I want to do with better. And I've earned 420 total points this year from spending on it, which is pretty hilarious. It's crazy to say that my total points earned would be 160,420 points. Obviously, that's all carried by referrals. And I think you get the gist of my point valuations for Chase points now. So I'll go ahead and reveal all of these values at once. Obviously, the most important here for most of us, including myself, would be the transfer partner value. So based on redemption strategies, personally, I'll get a minimum of $2,406 through the travel portal, but upwards of $3,208 or more from this card in 2024 alone. Got a couple more Inc. cards for you here. Now moving to the Chase Inc. Unlimited, which is the first card we'll talk about in this video that I did complete a welcome offer on in 2024. And I'm super fortunate to say that I've locked in an elevated offer on every Chase Inc. card I've gone for. So for the Chase Inc. Unlimited, I earned 90,000 points for the welcome offer. And referrals on this card, I did max out the full 200,000 points for. That's insane to me. And since this is used for my miscellaneous business spend, I actually did earn a decent amount of points from this as well. A total of 10,571 points. Adding all of that together, we get 300,571 points from this card alone. Even without the referral bonuses here, that's still over 100,000 points earned from the Chase Inc. Unlimited in 1 year. For a no annual fee card, that is mental. Showing the value for all of those points once again. On the low end, you got $3,000 worth of value. High end, 6,000 or more. So yeah, pretty insane, to be honest. The Chase Inc. Preferred is my last Chase Ultimate Rewards point earning card that I also earned an elevated welcome offer on, this time for 120,000 points. The referrals on this one, I actually did not really put out there that much because this is around the time when they started nerfing the referrals and I just decided I needed the cash instead to again fund my life. So I earned 40,000 points only from this card on referrals. I'm still very grateful for that nonetheless, but just goes to show that I technically could have earned like 160,000 more points here, but that's just not worth it to me whenever I do need cash, obviously, to live, not just points. Spending wise, it's really just been my phone bill card outside of spending towards the welcome offer, but I've garnered 9,659 points in that regard, bringing the total to 169,659 points earned on this card with the valuations that you can see here on screen. Now that we have all of my Chase Ultimate Rewards point earning cards covered here, we can go down to this bottom table and fill out the Chase UR point section. Adding up all of these total points that are currently showing, I came out to 862,744 Chase points earned in 2024. That is a ridiculous number of Chase points, but to be fair, I've redeemed over 520,000 of these points this year alone, most of which have been done, for the business in a sense. Of course, all my personal trips can be made business because I can make a video about how I got there. So for complete transparency, they're business and personal trips a lot of times. But either way, I try to reinvest these points that I've earned for content on the channel, and I hope y'all appreciate that. Still though, that's an insane number of points and I'm aware of that. As for the total cashback value of my Chase points at 1 cent per point, that is $8,627. Of course, I never use that method with my Chase points. Maybe I need to start to, depending on how the rest of the business revenue goes. I might need to start cashing out some points, but overall we're doing all right. So travel portal value being a more likely scenario that I redeem these points in, that's a value of $12,941. And transfer partner value at 2 cents per point is $17,255 from Chase points alone. Wow. Okay. Well, that's obviously a lot. We're going to knock out Amex next, which is also going to be a massive chunk of points. Let's just go ahead and dive into those. I don't want to make this video extremely long, even though I know it will be. These videos get longer and longer every year because I get more and more cards. So bear with me as I try to find the best approach to making these videos, but I hope you're enjoying it so far. Okay, so the first Amex membership reward point earning card we're going to talk about today is the one that I canceled this year. the Amex Gold card. Before I canceled it, I did max out my referrals in 2024 at 100,000 total points earned, which is amazing. And once again, the fact that I canceled this card just shows, that I'm automatically losing out on all of those points, but that does not matter to me at all because I'm not going to keep a card open for the sake of referrals. I think that's kind of disingenuous. So hopefully that calms your nerves if you really think that I'm only in this for the referral points. But as for spending on the card, first of all, I have to shout out the Amex customer service rep that helped me with this. For whatever reason, they took away all of my history on the card, so I couldn't go through and add up all of the points earned myself. And yeah, for whatever reason, Amex just does not give you a way to summarize your year-to-date earnings from each card individually. So the customer service rep had to do what I had to do for the rest of my Amex cards, and that is go through each statement, pull out the total points earned on each transaction, and add them all together. So after he did that, and I confirmed with my own math based on the data that he gave me, I found that I earned a total of 13,518 points from the card before I canceled it in June. Of course, adding those two columns together, we get a total of 113,518 points. And now getting to talk about the valuation of Amex membership rewards points real quick. For the cashback value of their points, you're only going to get 0.6 cents per point if you're not using a cashback dedicated card of theirs, which is obviously something you never ever want to do with your Amex points. So don't do this. I put it on the table for consistency's sake, but I would never redeem my Amex points for that. The travel portal value will be 1 cent per point, and personally, I've never even been guaranteed 1 cent per point. Like sometimes hotels only give me 0.7 or something like that. And again, I don't really ever use this method. Instead, I would just only use my Amex points with transfer partners. And that's one of the reasons why I say that Amex cards are not for everybody, because you really need to be understanding how to use those points the most effectively. And a lot of normal credit card users just don't. With that being said, though, the only method I ever plan on using with my Amex points would be this one. So at 0.6 cents per point, the cashback value for my Amex Gold card is $681. Travel portal value at 1 cent per point is $1,135. And transfer partner value at 2 cents per point, just to match Chase and really every transferable currency card I have, I got $2,270. Moving to the Amex Blue Business Plus, my first ever business credit card I've opened. Also the card that now just serves as like a backup, high limit Amex membership reward point earning catch-all card, as well as the one that will keep my Amex membership reward points active at no annual fee, which is amazing. This is more just a keep alive card than anything, but I still was able to max out referrals on it for another 100,000 points. And then spending wise, nothing too insane at all here. I've only earned 3,078 points on this card, bringing it to my second least amount of points earned on a card from spending, aside from the Chase Ink cash this year. Add those two numbers together, we get 103,078 points, with these valuations shown on screen, ranging from $618 to $2,062, very heavily carried by the referral bonuses, of course. And then the last Amex membership reward point earning card that I have is the Amex Business Gold card. I did earn a welcome offer on this card this year, and this was a Target elevated offer that I locked in whenever I was paying for my tax payments earlier this year. So I was fortunate enough to get 150,000 points for that offer. Referral wise, this is just not a card that a lot of people have, so it's not one that I really earn any referrals on. I think I've only earned one so far, which is kind of crazy, but I've earned 20,000 points from that. And then spending wise, I did have to spend $10,000 towards the minimum spending requirement when I got it. Plus I use it for my editing services, and that's my largest business expense. So I did earn a decent amount of points from this one, that being 22,326 points. Summing all of those together, we get 192,326 points from my Amex Business Gold. And those points are worth anywhere from $1,154 at the low end, which again, never would use it for this, to $3,847 or more, depending on the valuations you get for your Amex points. So now we got those three cards covered and can come down to the summary for my Amex membership rewards points and revealing the total points earned. That would be 408,922 points. The cashback value at 0.6 cents per point of $2,454. Travel portal value at 1 cent per point being $4,089. And transfer partner value at 2 cents per point being, of course, double that, $8,178. I also did earn a decent amount of points from Rakuten, which is something I don't see many people talking about. I know some people earn hundreds of thousands of points every year from this, but I don't personally do that. Either way, I earned a respectable 82,160 points from their referral program with these valuations that I'm showing now. Most importantly, the transfer partner value of $1,643, bringing my total transfer partner value for my Amex points overall to $9,821. So that's roughly half of what I earned from my Chase Ultimate Rewards points. And for the most part, Amex points are the easiest to earn. So I think that just goes to show my strategy in action, being that I value those Chase points so highly and I'm using them so frequently that I have to earn just a lot more. Now we can move to my Citi ThankYou point earning cards. And I guess I forgot to reveal these earlier, but for both of these cards, they have no referral program. So that's not going to come into play at all here. I guess we'll get a more accurate representation of the total value that I got, being that that is the case with Citi cards. And the Citi Custom Cash is my first Citi card that I ever opened, and it's really just used to give me 5x back in all my gas purchases. So it does get used frequently, but that's for less than $500 a month on that card, probably closer to like $100 to $250 a month. But over the course of 12 months, that added up to 11,039 points, that also being the total amount of points I earned on this card. And then getting into Citi ThankYou point valuations, they're great, just like Chase, in the sense that you can cash them out at any time for 1 cent per point. So that'll be the cashback valuation. For travel portal valuation, it's also going to be 1 cent per point. I wish they gave you a boost like Chase did, but they don't. So you can get a respectable rate, but I wouldn't redeem in this fashion either. Transfer partner value, though, once again, they have access to a lot of the same partners as, Chase, Amex, Capital One, everybody really. So I value their points at 2 cents per point with transfer partners. Just remember that that's heavily dependent on your exact booking strategies. And also, I haven't used any of my Citi ThankYou points yet. So hopefully they'll actually find a good use case in 2025, or I don't know, I guess I'll keep stashing them. So cashback and travel portal value will be exactly the same, that being $110 from the card. And the transfer partner value would be double at $221 whenever it's rounded at least. So that goes to show for a no annual fee card that I only use for one category and one category alone, I still earn $221 in value. And I'd say that's pretty great. And that's why the Citi Custom Cash can slot into so many people's setups. The Citi Strata Premier, on the other hand, is a card that could be used for basically every purchase besides maybe that one that the Citi Custom Cash covered if you wanted to rock a Citi setup. But I actually only use it for grocery store purchases. And that's just because I have so many cards at this point that cover me at least that high of a rate in other ecosystems that I may value more. Luckily with this card though, I did apply for it this year during an elevated offer period, or at least what we thought was an elevated offer period. So although I didn't spend too much on this card, I still earned a good amount of points because of that. And that welcome offer was 75,000 points. Spending wise, to get those 75,000 points, as well as just everything after that, I've earned 12,170 points. That is since May of this year when I applied for this card. So not too bad. Adding those two values together, we get 87,170 points at 1 cent per point for cashback and travel portal value. That's $872. Double that for transfer partner value. We get $1,743 from this card alone. That's all my Citi cards covered now. So we can move down to this summary table again. Total points from the Citi Custom Cash and Citi Strata Premier is 98,209 points. At 1 cent per point for cashback and the travel portal, that's $982. And with transfer partners, that's $1,964 at 2 cents per point. I'd say that's definitely respectable for two cards that only have a $95 annual fee. And I will say that I've loved using these two Citi cards in my day-to-day wallet. So I see them being more of a staple for 2025 as well. And we'll see what this number comes out to at the end of this year whenever I've actually got to use the Strata Premier for a whole year alongside my Citi Custom Cash. The next ecosystem we will be talking about is going to be Capital One. And I only have one card with Capital One. That is the Capital One Venture X. With the Venture X, they pay you 25,000 points per referral, and you only get up to 4 total referrals. So that's 100,000 points. Fortunately, with the audience we have, I have been able to max those out this year. And then this is my second most used credit card, as it's my daily catch-all credit card in my wallet. And that's why this number should be pretty comparable to what you see from my Chase Sapphire Reserve as well, since those are the two most used cards in my setup. So let's see if that's the case. Yep, I earned 30,072 points from this card. So including referrals, that's 130,072 points. And getting into the point valuations for Capital One, the cashback value for Capital One miles is only half a cent per point. So that's awful. It's even worse than Amex. Never redeem your Capital One miles for this. And this is also a big reason as to why you will want to be careful if you have the Capital One Duo of transferring your rewards earned on your Saver card to the Venture X, unless you know that you're going to use them, because you can't transfer them the other way. And while they're on the Saver card, you can get 1 cent per point for those. But right whenever you transfer them to miles, you downgrade it to just half that value. But as somebody on Team Travel, again, I'm never going to use the cashback method here. Instead, I'll consider using it for the travel portal value or transfer partner value. With the travel portal, you're going to get 1 cent per point in value, which isn't anything crazy. So that's why I default to transfer partners with Capital One at a 2 cent per point valuation on average, once again. And with that being said, we can go ahead and reveal these numbers. The cashback value of those 130,000 or so points is $650. The travel portal value is $1,301. And the transfer partner value is $2,601. Coming back down to the summary table, all of these values are exactly the same as what we just covered, so I won't repeat them again. Here they are for completeness sake though. And then dropping one lender down from there, you now see that we'll be getting into the Bilt Mastercard. And this card I did open in 2024, but I did not take advantage of any welcome offer on it. The welcome offer they gave me was to earn 5x on all purchases aside from rent for the first 5 days of having it. At least I'm pretty sure that's what it is. However, I applied for this card on the same day I applied for the Chase Ink Unlimited, which has a $6,000 minimum spending requirement on it. And I did that purposely to where I knew I could spend all my money towards the Ink Unlimited and not really care about spending towards the Bilt Mastercard. So that's why you're going to see here that my welcome offer is actually just 0 points on the card, even though I did open it in 2024. And I've harped on this card enough recently, but y'all know that I just don't put any spin through it really. Like I don't even use it for my rent purchases right now because I use my rent purchases to help me towards minimum spend requirements on other cards. So I'll go ahead and reveal the spending value first. It's going to be less than you probably expected, but I guess maybe a respectable 13,081 points. Really not much at all though. All the value that I got from this card this year came from the fact that I got referrals on it. And thanks to y'all, I earned 137,500 points from referrals, bringing my total to 150,581 points. This is another lender where I haven't redeemed many points at all. I think I've only used 17,000 points from this card for a Hyatt booking. But other than that, I really have only used Chase and Amex points this year. But I said this earlier, I do plan on using my Bilt points for all of my Hyatt stays while reserving my Chase points currently for that travel portal 1.5 cent per point value and my Amex, Capital One, and Citi points for international trips. The cashback value of Bilt points are going to be only 0.55 cents per point. What I hate about what Bilt does, and I guess really every lender kind of does this, is that they really push you to use this redemption strategy whenever you go to your wallet with Bilt. And of course they do that because they don't have to pay you out as much if you use that strategy. But please don't ever do that. 0.55 cents per point is not a good redemption rate for cashback. Their travel portal value is a little bit more interesting. You do get 1.25 cents per point when booking travel through their portal. So that's better than any no annual fee card. So I do like that, although I haven't used any points in that regard. I did try to actually book one of the March Madness tickets at 1.25 cents per point, if I remember correctly, but I didn't unfortunately end up winning one of those tickets. So it is what it is. But transfer partner value is going to be the same as all the other transferable currencies at 2 cents per point. So that's where you're going to see these numbers come from. Seeing the monetary value here, I got $828 in cashback form, $1,882 in travel portal form, and $3,012 in transfer partner form. Same as the venture miles here. Going to reveal all these numbers on the bottom since they're the exact same as what we just went through. And then we can move on to the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card, which is ecosystem number 6 out of 8. This is another card that I don't use for really anything besides like for my Marriott bookings. But since I actually never pay cash for those bookings, it's just used for like incidental charges and I barely earn any points on it. So spending wise, I just got 2,154 points, which is really bad compared to all of the other ecosystems really because of how little these points are valued at, which we'll get into in this section, of course. Referral bonus wise, this is a card that a lot of y'all have actually found my channel from, surprisingly. Like on a couple of my consulting calls so far, I've had people mention that they actually found me because of this video. So I guess that's why the referral bonus was really easy to max out for me at 200,000 total points. I think that did come out to like 40,000 points per referral, just like the ink cards, but these points are worth a lot less. So not exactly the same valuation there. But adding those two values together, we get 202,154 points. And then Marriott Bonvoy points are a little bit interesting, at least how I calculate them here. For cashback value, I say that they have no cashback value at all because you can't just cash them out. And instead, I give them the same valuation for travel portal and transfer partner since you have to use these points directly with Marriott. And that's the easiest way that I can kind of produce it in this table. And I use the points guys valuation of 0.84 cents per point for Marriott Bonvoy points. So that's what you're going to see here. And if I multiply that total amount of points by 0.84, you'll see that I got $1,698 in value, basically strictly because of referral offers. I'll go ahead and reveal these in that bottom table again since I only have one Marriott card. Then we can move to Southwest Miles, which is a new addition to the spreadsheet, so that's fun. I recently opened the Southwest Performance business here in the end of October, but I don't get a welcome offer on this card in 2024 since I wait to complete it until the beginning of this year. I did surprisingly have one person sign up through the referral offer, so I got 25,000 points for that. And spending wise, I've only put a little bit of spend on it to start working towards the minimum spending requirement to gather 3,658 points total so far. So that's 28,658 points that I've earned in 2024. As for the cashback value of Southwest points, I did the same thing as I did with Marriott and just put NA here because you don't cash out Southwest miles. And the travel portal and transfer partner value are going to be at a 1.4 cent per point valuation since that's the points guys valuation of Southwest miles. So multiplying the total points by that, we get $401 in total value so far, which is reflected in the summary table below. And then we come to the last ecosystem that I've earned in, which is basically just cashback. It's going to be Amazon reward points, which is just Amazon cashback. And I'll show the referral bonuses first. This one pays like $25 per card, and the upper limit of it is like $1,000 that you can actually earn from the card. But this isn't one that a lot of people are applying for, just here and there. But I think I had 17 total referrals, which netted me 42,500 points. Technically, these points are really awarded as cash back, so divide that by 100, and that's how we're going to get our valuation. But before we get there, I want to calculate how much I've spent on the card. And at 5% back for every Amazon purchase, that netted me 13,140 points for a total of 55,640 points earned. This one, of course, is going to have no travel portal or transfer partner value since it's just a cashback card. So at 1 cent per point for those points, that's $556 earned from my Amazon card. And now, after revealing the final cells down here in the summary table, we can see every single thing in one place. I guess before I get there, I might as well reveal each one of these columns as well. The total that I earned from welcome offers in 2024 is, drumroll please, 435,000 points, which is really respectable, I would say, especially considering that one of the cards I applied for, I didn't get a welcome offer on, and another one I applied for is one that I'm completing in 2025. So honestly, pretty good in my books. As for referrals, this is mind-boggling. And again, I am not sharing this to brag by any means, but thanks to y'all, literally just thanks to you, this has nothing to do with me, I've earned 1.3 million credit card points, 1.305 million credit card points from referrals. I just can't even believe that, to be honest. Spending wise is a more interesting number in the sense that y'all can relate to it more. And I earned 196,980 total points from spending on my cards this year, bringing the grand total of points from 2024 to 1,936,980 credit card points. Geez, that is insane. I just can't even wrap my mind around that. And while that number by itself is crazy, the actual value of that number is crazier. So let's get down to this final summary table at the bottom and reveal the cashback value of all of the points earned, the travel portal value, and the transfer partner value. And this is reflective of this summary table above. So it is actually accurate as to, it leaves out these columns for the cashback value since you can't redeem for cashback. It has the accurate travel portal valuations for this section. So it's an accurate representation of the actual value I've gotten. So here we are. We come to the final cashback value for those 1.9 or so million points of $14,591. Jesus. The travel portal value should be a good bit higher than that. And yes, it is $24,116. Jesus. And man, I don't even know. This is going to kind of blow my mind, I have a feeling. But the transfer partner value at a pretty conservative 2 cents per point, when considering I'm only talking about transfer partner value, that means that I earned $36,753 from my credit cards in 2024. Wow, that's wild. I don't even know what other adjective to use to describe that. That's just crazy. And I don't want to harp on that for too long because, again, that's just not a relatable number considering that the majority of these points was earned from referrals. So let's go ahead and just take that out of the equation here. And we'll just do a simple calculation here on the spreadsheet, taking the total points that I earned, subtracting out my referral bonuses. That brings me to 631,980 points earned only by me, only by my spending, my welcome offers, and that's it. No referral bonuses, which I would say is a very good year. Like that's super solid for somebody that's got as low spend as I do. And just to get that transfer partner value of those points, let's take those points, divide by 100, multiply by 2. That's $12,640 just from me. That means you can earn that much too. I know this might be a little bit of a high estimation because I didn't take the time to separate out the Amazon rewards and all of that. But either way, I can confidently say that I earned over $10,000 in credit card points without referral offers in 2024. And that is a number that is achievable by anybody. I'm going to repeat myself here though. This is only achievable through smart financial habits. If you're the type of person that is not going to be able to manage as many cards as I do, or you might accidentally overspend to hit these offers, then you're the kind of person that the banks absolutely love and you're never going to win the credit card game. So as always, please just be as responsible as you can with these things. They are a dangerous financial tool if used incorrectly, but by having a proper strategy and plan in place, you will avoid making any big mistakes with them. Speaking of though, if you want to hear about my biggest credit card mistakes so far in my journey, go ahead and click into this video next. And as always, Odin and I both want to say thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next time.